Hello, hello! It's SpeakNow2, Lesson 9, Part A. I have a sore throat, describing health problems and making suggestions for people that have health problems. Look at this picture here to start the lesson. There's a guy with lots of problems, and he has aspirin, a cough medicine, maybe hot tea, skin lotion, thermometer. He isn't well, is he? And a hot bag here, a bag with hot water. Poor him. Well, we have these words that are all connected to health problems. And the idea is for us to circle the health problems we've had. For example, we have a cold, a fever, a cough, a headache, ache, dor, headache, dor de cabeça, a cough, a sore back, back, parte de trás. Sore, dolorido, dor nas costas. The flu, the influenza. A sore throat, throat, garganta. A sore throat, uma garganta dolorida. We don't say garganta dolorida in Portuguese. We say dor de garganta. A stomachache, stomachache. As you can see, ache in the stomach, uma dor no estômago. Dor de barriga, mas não de fazer número 2, é quando está doendo mesmo. Dry skin, skin, pele. Dry, seco. Pele seca, skin lotion, for it, right? Part B is for us to tell our partner what you usually do when you have one of the problems above. Use the ideas below or your own ideas. Get rest. Descansar. See a doctor. Stay in bed. O trem bom quer ficar na cama. O trem ruim quer ficar doente. Então fica na cama quando estiver bom. Mas ficar na cama quando está doente não é bom. Take some medicine. Tomar remédio. Ignore the problem. Então, né? Às vezes simplesmente ignorar o problema pode ser uma boa ideia. Tocar a vida que você até esquece do problema. Então, pimenta nos olhos dos outros é remédio, né? Refresco. So, you have to think what's the best thing to do. But for example, let's see. We have an option here for us of a dialogue. Look, for which health problems do you get rest? I usually get rest when I have a fever or a sore back. For which problems do you usually see a doctor? I almost never go to see a doctor. I often ignore the problem unless it gets worse, it gets severe. Right? So this is a way to look at the situation, at the circumstance. Then we have a conversation. This conversation is between Tracy and Layla. What's Layla's problem? What does Tracy suggest? Well, we are going to take a look at the dialogue, and as usual, in the end you can listen to the dialogue, and then you are going to pay attention and learn from the dialogue and be able to answer the questions. But I am not feeling too well. Oh, poor you. Oh, what's the matter, Leila? Mas o que está acontecendo, Leila? I have a sore throat. That's too bad. I hope it's not the flu. Have you seen a doctor? Essa aqui, that's too bad, é uma reação para mostrar que você entende a pessoa. I hope it's not the flu. I hope, eu espero. The flu, gripe. The influenza. Have you seen a doctor? Você já viu um médico? No, I'm fine really. I think I just have a cold. You have a fever. Why don't you go home and rest? You have a fever, you've got a temperature, você está com febre. Why don't you go home? É um jeito de você convidar a pessoa, você sugerir para a pessoa fazer alguma coisa. Why don't you? A pessoa está com fome. Why don't you stop and have something to eat? A pessoa está com pressa. Why don't you drive slower? Porque você não dirige um pouco mais devagar. A pessoa está sem tempo. Why don't you stop watching TV and start working? E por aí vai. Good idea. Can you take notes for me in class? Sure, I hope you feel better soon. Can you take notes in class? Na aula? So they are probably colleagues at the same classroom, right? Sure, I hope you feel better soon. Eu espero que você melhore logo. Thanks. Oh, lovely. And then we have to change the sentences, the blue ones and the green ones. We have to exchange by these ones, right? So instead of saying, what's the matter, Leila? What's wrong, Leila? I have a headache. Here, she has a sore throat. And then we do the dialogue again. And in the second situation, I have a headache. Why don't you go home and rest? Why don't you take some aspirin? Good idea. Can I call you later? Can I call you later? Sure, I hope you feel better soon. Thanks. So this is it, basically. But, for example, we also can talk about this exercise here, coming back to it, like this. What do you do when you have a cold? I wear a jacket or a coat, get protected from cold weather. What do you do if you have a fever? I take medicine, some medicine to lower the temperature. What do you do if you have a cough? I have honey or other things for the throat. What do you do if you have a headache? I turn off the light and try to be in the dark. What do you do if you have a sore back? I go to bed, if I can. What would you do if you had the flu? I would take some medicine and try to avoid wind or cold weather. What would you do if you had a sore throat? I would have honey and ginseng. What do you do if you have a stomachache? I try to have some teas that are good for the stomach. What do you do if you have a dry skin? I try to use a moisturizing or a skin lotion or something like this. Okay, so this is it. Don't forget, in the end of the lesson, I'm going to put the audio of the conversation for us. Listen to it and see you at the classroom. Bye-bye.
Lesson 9. I have a sore throat. Page 22. Conversation. A. Listen. What is Layla's problem? What does Tracy suggest?
Hi, Tracy. I'm not feeling too well.
Oh? What's the matter, Layla?
I have a sore throat.
That's too bad. I hope it's not the flu. Have you seen a doctor?
No, I'm fine, really. I think I just have a cold.
You have a fever. Why don't you go home and rest?
Good idea. Can you take notes for me in class?
Sure. I hope you feel better soon.
Thanks.